talk about parallel and perpendicular lines today. Remember, parallel, the symbol for that is just two parallel lines. They're larger than, or pretty much taller than a 1, so it won't look like two 1s, and they're put together closer, so it won't look like two L's. So parallel lines have the same slope. So if I had two lines and I knew their slopes and they happened to be 3/2 each, then they are parallel lines. Or if I wanted to know if they were parallel lines, then I would have to find their slopes and see if they're the same. So in the equation, we have this equation, which you must memorize if you were in my class, because you will have this on a test. This is your point slope. Here is your point. Just like in the circle, it would be opposite. Like if it was a -2 in here, it would be 3. And remember that K goes with Y and H goes with X, and it's always XY. And then here is your slope. So if I had this equation, y minus 3 equals 2/3 x plus 5. And then I had another equation, and x minus 3. And if I needed just to know if these were parallel lines, I would just look at my slopes. I wouldn't even need to look at my points. They're two different lines. They're going to go through two different points. But if I wanted to know these are parallel, I would look at my slopes. They are parallel. But if I said, hey, but is this one parallel to it? Look at my slope. That one's 5, so this one is not parallel to those lines. Same thing with perpendicular, but they are not the same. So first of all, perpendicular would look like this. So that is perpendicular symbol, and they have opposite reciprocals, meaning if it was positive, it's going to be negative, vice versa, and reciprocal is just simply flipping that fraction. If it was a whole number, you put it over 1 and then flip it. So if I have 3, the opposite reciprocal would be -1/3. If I had 2/3, the opposite reciprocal would be -3/2. So if I had this here, this line would be perpendicular to these lines, and it would look something like this. So if you have a problem that says, hey, write an equation, and we may see a form like this, y equals mx plus b, and so y equals, we're just going to keep the same one, 3x plus 2. It says write an equation to this line that's perpendicular to this line and goes through the point 4, 1. All right, so first of all, what is my slope of this? We have 2/3, so we want the perpendicular slope, which is equals -3/2. All right, and we're going to use this point. We are done with this equation. Remember, we use it and we throw it away. We use it for our our slope. We're going to throw it away. It has nothing to do with our slope. I see some of you trying to put this 4/1. No, here's the slope we're going to use right here. All right, so we're going to put it in our y minus h equals mx minus k, which is right there. Memorize it, write it back down if you want to. I suggest you write this every time you're about to use it, just so you'll remember what it is. And this is our our k. No, I think I have this backwards anyway. This is y minus k and h. Our h goes with x, and our k goes with y. So here's our h, here's our k. Another example, this is in my x coordinates, so my 4 will go with my x. So y and our k is positive, so y minus 1. Our slope is here, so -3/2. And our point for x is x minus 4. And you could do the same thing with a parallel line. You would just use that slope instead of this one. And you're just putting it into this form.